Hi there and welcome to another edition of the Paper Haven Top Tips, and today I'm going to be talking about adhesives and the different adhesives that I use the most. Okay, so my number one adhesive is our multi-purpose liquid glue. It's more commonly known as Tombow, and it's £3.75 in the catalogue, and I just use it all the time. It does last quite a while, and I'm going to give you some tips on that. I also use tearing tape quite a bit. This is double-sided tape, and as the name suggests, you can tear it. You don't need to cut it with your scissors. In fact, I would advise that you don't cut it with scissors. And then another I suppose it is an adhesive. I use our dimensionals for layering items up and creating a bit of a 3D effect. So I'm going to talk through the items and sort of make a little card. So I would normally start with this because it's my number one, but because of how the card is, that's probably what we're going to do last. So I've just prepared some paper and a white card blank. So I want to adhere this piece of paper onto that card blank, but I want to put some ribbon around it. Okay, now wet glue and ribbon, they don't really go. They're not a good combo. Okay, so there's a couple of ways I would do this. This is a really sturdy ribbon. It's a linen ribbon. It's quite a stiff ribbon, so you could do it this way. So you could take your tearing tape and sort of measure, it's hard, it keeps flipping over, measure the width of that against your ribbon, lay the ribbon down, pulling it quite tight if you can, it's hard to do this sometimes without getting it wonky. Okay, I've got my ribbon on there. Now you do have to apply quite a bit of pressure and then peel the back off this, and then if you can see the adhesive, the tape is stuck to the ribbon, and then pop this down on your workspace and stick that down like that, and then just pop it around the edges, and there we have that. Okay, so that's one way of doing it, and it's fully glued, stuck onto the paper. Another way of doing it, depending on if you want to tie anything else around the ribbon, is to turn your paper over and tear about an inch. Just got to be wider than the ribbon. So say if you want about there, and then peel this off the back. Now this is quite tricky because if you stick that on your paper, it's on your mat, it's gonna, so you need to have a look where your ribbon is, use the words to line it up, and then again you can just okay, and then you've got that. Now obviously that isn't stuck down then, okay, so if you're going to put something over the top, that's not an issue, but you might want to tie some linen thread around that, or use that. Look, you see I've gone and stuck that there. Now we would be ready for the wet glue now, and I know one of my customers was saying that she thinks she's using too much glue, so I'm going to go through the Tombow. It has two ends. It has a fine tip, okay, it's a screw off lid, and it has a broad tip like a spreader. I never really use that side, so you don't need to use a lot, and you don't need to squeeze. Okay, so I come in about ½ centimetre from the edge, and I do a really fine line, and I work really quickly over the side, and then I do a bit of a squiggle in the middle. And what I love about Tombow is wet glue, it lets you pop your paper down or your card, and it just gives you a few seconds of sort of readjustment allowance until you stick it down. So there we go. the tombos there. I've got none seeping out at the sides because I allowed that 1/2 centimetre. Okay, so we've gone through tape, we've gone through multi-purpose liquid glue, and now I'm going to go through dimensionals. Now we have 2 different types. We have the standard ones, they're like little hexagons, and they come in a pack like this of 3 sheets. They're £3.75 again, like the wet glue. So these are the larger ones, and then we have, I don't know if you can see that, mini ones. Okay, now can you see what you do get is you get a lot of spare foam on the edge, and you can cut these up, and that's a top tip. So here it's a bit like Blockbusters. You get these edges, and you can cut these up and use these bits. So I'm going to pretend I've got a sentiment stamped on here, and this is going to stick over here like so. And you know, if I was using this, I would probably do 1, 2, put 1 there, 3, 4. Okay, you peel the backs off, and then pop that down on there, and you have your raised element. So they are the dimensionals, and they are my most used adhesives from Stampin' Up. In fact, they're my most used adhesives, full stop. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this little video, and tune in for another video soon. Thanks, bye.